And what is happening, folks? Welcome to another episode of 9NerdYards Atlanta Breakdown Series, Season 4, Episode 5. I don't even know what it's called, but we just watched it. We're going to get our white boy on the case, our YWA. He's going to inform us the name and the synopsis. But let's go around the panel while we're introducing this episode. We've got straight out of the mean streets, Denver, Colorado, R.I.P. Tommy and John. It's Terry. Terry, what's going on, my man?
What's up? It's good to be back, guys. I missed y'all so much. I watched the episode with y'all last week, but duty calls, and I had to get drunk with a bunch of film people. Got to put.
Yeah, where were you? Got to get the network.
I mean, they were just twisting your arm, huh?
Yeah, I was at the greatest genre film festival in North America, aka Fantastic Fest, which is presented and located by the Alamo Drafthouse and at Alamo Drafthouse South Lamar. So unlike most film festivals where there'll be kind of theaters and you gotta travel, this one's all centrally located. So you just stay in that one area. You don't have to go for parking everywhere else or buy multiple tickets. You just buy the badge and you're done. Saw the new Hellraiser before everybody else. I liked it. I don't know why people would complain. Hellraiser is a chick. I'm like, Hellraiser Pinhead is a person who tortures you sexually with death. You want that to be a dude? Dude, bro, that sucks. So when they changed it and it's a lady, I'm like, I get it. Yeah, that gives me a really creepy boner, and that's what the whole.
Which is also coincidentally the name of Terry's autobiography.
Creepy boner.
A real creepy boner.
Speaking of real creepy boners, we got our YWA in the house. You know him, you love him.
How's it
He's
going?
simply just Jeff tonight. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Jeff, what is the name of tonight's episode and what's the synopsis of it?
Tonight's episode is Work Ethic. And there's an exclamation point at the end, so you got to yell it. And according to IMDb, it is. We got a synopsis of one time I was going to be an extra on this TV show, but then they started asking me about social security numbers and taxes and being up there at 5 a.m. I know y'all ain't doing that with Taraji.
Oh, okay.
The fact that they mentioned Taraji, and I talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
The fact that they mentioned her name.
There it is.
We're going to come back. We're going to come to that really hard. And you know him, you love him. The man of the hour, the reason that we are all here, and in fact, why you're watching and you love his breakdowns. It's Nine from 9NerdYards. Nine, how you doing, baby?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling like some hot grits right now.
Hey!
I built up a tolerance, though. I built up a nice tolerance.
Smart.
But yeah, glad to have Terry back. I'm glad that you handled your business. Let's get into this episode. But first, who are you?
Oh, it's just me, your boy Money Blake Weather, aka Lottie. You know,
Nice.
the superstar of superstars. Mr. Chocolate's calling me everywhere. I don't know where I need to be, but you know what? I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna say some funny lines, and people will laugh. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they'll love it. But yeah, this was a fantastic episode. Nine. Let's start with you, bro. Top 3 favorite moments, takeaways, top 3 from this episode.
Well, one, the very beginning when we all were just like, oh, this is like Willy Wonka. And then we're like, wait, it's like Tyler Perry. And then there's that little Wizard of Oz aspect to it. Number 2 is a Keanu. I mean, that's hard as hell. I love the Keanu. Just write my video essays on. I think I'd get the hang of it. And 3 would just be just them grits to the face. Always satisfying.
Solid move.
Yeah, solid move.
Jeff, top 3 takeaways, top 3 favorite moments. What you got for us, player?
So my top 3 are. So first off, I like that we had a mild horror vibe going. You know, she can't find Lottie or anything, and it was a real fun callback to our Teddy Perkins episode, obviously. I love when Mr. Chocolate offers her a grit, singular, one grit. Would you like a grit? I just laughed so hard at that part.
Oh, so great.
And then we finally get Van's last name. I don't remember right now, but we got it.
Somebody asked
Vanessa Kiefer?
Kiefer.
Now it was K. No?
I don't know why,
Love
but
it.
I was like, oh, that's huge because like it's so rare we get someone's last name of anyone in the series. You know?
We no, they've
Ernest
I thought they've
Marks.
been Ernest Marks.
We know Ernest Marks and we know Alfred Miles.
Mhm.
Al
Okay.
Miles. Yeah, that's really the extent of what we know in this universe.
And what we got from Darius is Darius X.
I was gonna say Darius might just be
Darius.
Darius. One name, like Cher.
Yeah. Like Madonna, right? Yeah,
Right?
that's what it is. Like Prince,
Beyonce.
like Beyonce. It's just one name. Like McLovin.
No, I think Darius is a Muslim, right?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know. We just know he's
That's
very
why, because
Nigerian.
that would be like the X, like in Malcolm X.
Malcolm
And
X. I
usually
really think about that.
when they
No
try
slave
to,
name at
like,
the end.
while they're thinking of their new Muslim name, they will just use X because they're Xing out the old name.
The old slave
But
name. Yeah, that's what
Darius is from Nigeria, right? So it's like
Do we know if he's from Nigeria
I
or
don't
just
know if
that
he's,
he is Nigerian?
No, he's from. He
No,
talks
he's from
Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah,
because he got
Yeah,
his
he
balls
talks
crushed.
That's where he got his ball smashed.
Right?
Right.
What is a good time
Terry.
to bring that up?
AKA R.I.P.
Right now,
Tommy and
apparently.
John. First of all, why did you write R.I.P. Tommy and John before you kick off your top three?
Well, that's gonna be in my top three, so we'll start with that one.
Oh,
let's do it.
Love the shout out.
What a segue! What a
of
segue!
the memorial theaters to two of the greatest actors we've ever had: Tommy Lister Zeus Jr., aka Debo,
Debo.
you know, and of course John Witherspoon, who is Pops and Granddad from the Boondocks. And another good pointing out to make this connection to the Boondocks is that they did their own episode of making fun of Tyler Perry and his weird creepiness, his like kind of pimping out of the culture, while like, yeah, he does like some good things, but you're really just kind of like just pimping and selling our stories out and just call them out, especially with the actors of like, you know, you got the woman who's messed up and is trying to come back, has her, you know, Christian mother or grandmother with a gun. Her getting love interest who may or may not have been a felon, but you know, he's a Christian now.
He's a Christian.
Yeah, he's a Christian.
And of course, there's that evil, bald-headed, dark-skinned Negro that she needs to get away from. That's every time movie and Boondocks.
Also, I want to add to Terry's point. Tiny Zeus Lester and Johnny Witherspoon, they were both in Friday, and I thought they were going almost down that route, because if you think about Friday, so many actors from that movie rest in peace, like Isaiah, Bernie Mac's character, the preacher guy,
the lady, she
played Yvette, the one that said, "I look like, you know, Janet Jackson." She's dead.
Really?
The two women that like bother them in the morning, talking about, come on, sister.
Oh, the church's chicken lady.
Yeah, the church's yeah, she's good. She passed.
She dead. Yeah, like there's so many people from that movie. The guy who played Mr. Johnson, the small man, he's not with us anymore. So I thought there was maybe.
I thought they were going to keep naming nothing but theaters, because the last one was Mario Van Peebles. And I was like, wait, Mario Van Peebles isn't dead?
Hey, wait a minute, he's not dead.
That up. I had to double check on him. He's not dead, people.
Black Dynamite. No, wait, he's not Black Dynamite. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no. This was a whole. I thought this was a whole route that they were taking. And if that doesn't show my ghetto points, I really don't know what does. Terry, other 2 points. What you got for us, man?
I just like the beginning when you see Chocolate Studios, and I immediately like, oh yeah, this is gonna be making fun of Tyler Perry, isn't it? Definitely making fun of Tyler
I mean,
Perry.
you were calling that from the first commercial, so yeah,
You just had to know it. And I like, you guys said, my point, what I got from it wasn't really Willy Wonka. I got like, this was a Bond villain, classic. You know, Blowfield coming through everything. You never see him, but he controls everything. I was real surprised that when they showed him, he didn't have a cat.
Right.
Expecting him to have a cat,
But he did have a bald head.
He did have a bald head. He looked kind of like him.
He was a Black Bond villain almost. It was.
Yep. And I was like, yeah, he's a Bond. This guy
So-
just
some
watch
vibes.
I like how sometimes like just that one answer he gave the girl without saying anything, like, but we gotta do it in post, but post wants us to do it in pre, and just here, click.
Yeah.
Like, I got you. Don't worry about it. We can do this. Yeah.
And I was
Right, like
that's
he actually like let it's like he pushed the intercom button just so they could hear the silence coming through.
yeah, like,
Just the static of like his
That was it.
non-response.
Yeah.
His non-response was a response enough,
Right.
and that was hilarious. All right, my top three, like, sort of takeaways, favorite. I loved, and I talked about this with y'all post, and I'll bring this up right now, the handshake thing going on with Lottie and Van.
Yeah, man.
Here's the thing, the subtle things about Atlanta are what makes Atlanta, and then you can put so many like corresponding clues to like, oh, there's a deeper thing going on. The fact that they had a handshake lets us know that how close Van and Lottie are, right? Like, this is a great mother-daughter duo. Not only in like an actor-daughter, like, you know, you're an actor. How long have y'all been acting, right? Like, as if we didn't get it enough then. We saw it in the handshake. Like, dude, I have a handshake, but like with very seldom of the homies. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and it sort of embodies that sort of like tight-knit, close unit that these two have. They're like, it's us two, and like, we're going to go conquer it. I really enjoyed that.
And shout out to the little actress that plays Lottie, to be
Yeah,
honest,
man.
because she's going into like actually act like you're acting on a sitcom is like another layer of skill. Like that
Right.
little girl's going places.
Because
You're playing-
first she was acting like a little child who doesn't know much, and I was like, yeah, they're just, you know, they just found a kid, and now she's just doing just random lines like a terrible child actress. Like, she didn't give her much lines, but then to like see her really like acting, like, and then
Like
trying
he
to
acted
act
as like a
an
younger,
actor,
like
and
less
wow, this is
experienced
so
actor.
in depth right now.
Right.
The acting that this little kid is doing right now, it's like some 4D chess acting right now.
So many. You're playing a dude disguised as another dude, in the words
Right.
of Robert Downey.
pretty much.
It's so great. It's so great. I love
It's
that
like
dynamic.
the show.
right there.
It's like the show Barry on HBO,
Okay.
where I think Bill Hader is the lead.
Yeah,
character.
he's a lead guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, the hardest thing is acting like a bad actor.
Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like that
interesting.
takes a lot of skill, I feel like. I don't know. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Give us your other two.
Yeah. Other two. Donald Glover playing the bad guy. He plays some great creeps. I'm gonna just put it
Yeah.
out there.
It's in his
Teddy
blood.
Perkins, and now this. Yeah, bro. As soon as I saw and I heard the voice and we got up close, and we did not call it out, I was like,
Yep.
bro, that's Glover.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. The Medea hello.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I love that. And then also one final little tidbit. I'll throw this Easter egg out there. When we get the card at the end, and we get it from that dude who gave it to Van, this dude, yeah, maybe something with S. I'll for sure give you that one. Here's the thing, people. You're going to write it in the comments. You're going to be angry with us. We've only watched it once. You've probably watched it at least 2 or 3 times by the time you're watching this. Feel free to correct us in the comments, but don't get mad, but just be mad at yourself for getting mad. That's all I'm saying. But all I'm saying
get mad
is
in the comments. Fuck it.
Get mad in the comments.
Please.
Do all the comments. It'd be fantastic.
Clickbait rage gets the views, buddy.
Even if you're mad, the comments add to the algorithm. So even your hate adds to our love. So thank you so much. But I'll say this. He gave her the card that had that written on there. It didn't look like he just wrote it. That looks like he had that written and pre-given to people, or like hot moms, or like hot women, whoever he's seeing on set.
I feel like that was another callback to like Medea or one of Tyler Perry's films. I can't remember if that happened. I feel like it flipped the. I feel like it flipped the like expectation on its head. Like we're expecting him to be the light skinned hero, and then you see that and you're like, bro,
Come
Well,
on, man.
But that's
Come
not
on,
very
man.
Christian. He's supposed to be a man.
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
This whole thing, I mean, and then it takes you to a deeper layer of like, actually, all of this was just you're on set, so he might just be an actor too.
But yeah, that was the vibe
Mhm.
I got. That the entire day was just him messing with Van and filming her and everything. Also,
Yeah.
his name, IMDb, Shamik.
Shamik.
Okay, so Shamik, so that's definitely I know what they're going for. It was Diary of a Mad Black Woman because guess who? Guess who was the main actor who
Michael
was the
Ealy?
light-skinned savior?
Michael
It's,
Ealy.
No,
Who is
no,
it?
it's
the name's right there.
Shamik?
Shamar.
Shamar.
Oh!
Oh!
Shamik, Shamar. There we
I
go.
swear,
Like,
I
yeah,
swear
some
that
parallels,
happens
yeah.
in Diary
Shamar Moore was
of
in
Mad Black
Diary of
Woman
a
too.
Mad
Like
Black
I think
Woman.
like that like they hook up because she gets a note or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
Maybe
whatever.
something like that. We need to rewatch it, but you know what? Until then,
Yeah,
we're just going to talk about Atlanta. 9. Now, this is a good segue. Let's walk us through how we start this and walk us through to the very end. Where are we starting off?
Yeah, we open up with Van. She's driving with Lottie. It's like early as hell, 5 a.m. I actually thought they were like driving all night somewhere, but no.
Yeah, so did I.
Like the episode, like the description of the episode says, like you got me up at 5 a.m. What the fuck? So yeah, she's going there with Lottie to Chocolate Studios. Very much a play on Tyler Perry Studios, and it's really interesting because the security guard, when they get there, they're really having to check the bags and make sure that no one has a gun, and the security's pretty tight. So he's kind of like building up a compound that he's got.
But did that confuse you guys? Because, like, okay, you're just checking the two bags. There's an entire trunk that could be full of guns.
That's what I was
like,
thinking too. I was like, well,
Yeah.
he's not really checking the trunk or the most of the car.
Right?
Right.
That was the
You'd
part
be
that threw me
surprised
off.
who's getting guns in, is all I'm saying.
Old grandma, old grannies.
It's like, what's going on here? So, like,
Bro,
I wonder
you'd be
who
surprised if
other people have been there and like
Hang on,
caused some
9.
trouble.
You'd be surprised at who's getting guns in, and then we see the hairdresser or the costume designer with the
Costume
gun.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
Like, how did
All
she
I'm
get that? How did she get that
through? Yeah, man, I love it. But go ahead, 9. So we're in the compound
So,
that vaguely Tyler Perry-esque. I got a lot of Willy Wonka vibes. I'll tell you why here in
I
a
also
little
got old school Walt Disney when he was describing the offices.
bit.
yeah.
Whoa, yeah.
Now, but she's in the waiting room, and there's
Well,
this conversation that this dude is having.
Oh,
What
yeah.
happens first? What happens before then?
Well, I just wanted to point out the line that reminded me of Willy Wonka. So if anybody hasn't seen the 1970s Willy Wonka with Gene Wilder, there's a line in there where Charlie Bucket, he's walking around the Willy Wonka compound. It's got the gates everywhere and everything. And this sort of he's a street like keeper, like he like cleans the streets. And Willy, you know, he sees Willy Wonka sees Charlie sees a smoke, and he's kind of tells him a little like, I don't know, it's kind of a little like poem type thing, but he ends it with, he's like, nobody ever goes in and nobody ever comes out, you know.
Yeah.
And they, if you hear the tour guide, again, none of these lines are designed by accident.
No.
Like none of these lines are in, you know, just sort of, oh, they're just there to as filler. Everything sort of, so if you listen to tour guide, she says nobody really ever goes in and nobody ever comes out. It took me back to that, dude. So like if you cut this 9, if you cut that bit from there and you put it in your thing, bro, it's like
I'm gonna put that
identical parallel, bro.
But yeah, that's definitely what led me to the. I mean, obviously it's chocolate and chocolate, like the chocolate.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
Yeah.
It was just like clicked, and I was like, of course it's
Not too subtle there. Yeah.
Not too subtle at all.
But yeah, so they are in the waiting room. Van's waiting to get called into set so she can do her just a day role. She got the role put on from her friend. I wonder which friend put her on.
Right, yeah, we don't ever really find this out.
I almost thought like maybe it was like, you know, Ern just kind of like suggested it with all of his ties to the industry now. Like it feels like it would be very easy for him to actually get her whatever.
Jeff, you're making a face. Denise, you're making a face.
About that though, I actually got the whole, because she never said who the friend was, but 2, it's a very low end role. and Ern's with the connections he's got, it actually had me wondering if the two of them are still together.
Mm-hmm. I think
Between that and her flirting with Shamik, I was like, man, are she and Ern still together? And there was one other thing she said, and it's jumping forward a little bit, but when she's talking with the hairdresser, she's saying like, "Oh, I wanted to be independent." So I'm wondering if that was a part of her and Ern maybe not being together anymore.
I think she's not because of the house. I think she's not because of the subtle connection. I think she's not because if you've ever talked with a girl, she doesn't want to be rude. She may tell you a story of like, oh, I do have a boyfriend, or hey, I'm busy, or hey, like she gave this dude a fake name. She could have given this dude a real name. I really think that it might not be a real, just like the way it's been in the rest of the season, there might not be a literal a real connection between her and Ern, but I think that there's a certain tether between those two that keeps them connected and keeps them not.
I almost think they are like pretty beyond monogamy, like for them to even define it at this point. Like they're kind of like maybe just ride or die for each other, but they're also just like, fuck it, like, just living life.
I just remember there's this line back in the first episode that Ern gives to Van, and where they're trying to leave and they go through that door. And right before he goes through the door, she's like, please don't leave me. And Ern says to her, he looks her in the eyes and says, I will never leave you like I left them.
Yeah, I'll never let you become one of those.
I never let you become one of them.
Good catch there.
But that's also like touching back to like what we've seen Van go through at the end of the Paris episode. She's just kind of she's dealing with being lost. She doesn't want to just be a single mom. She wants to have her daughter look up to her as a
for herself, and she just doesn't want to like depend on Ern's money.
So she's still very much dealing with that.
She just, wants her own thing. And I also felt she was kind of getting a little jealous of Lottie.
Yeah, I caught that too.
Doing well.
Factoid.
Yeah,
marking that one off my list.
Doing well at this.
Yeah.
Nine, how do we get there?
So
we're
this
still
conversation that this guy is having in the lobby though he's talking about
put him in the trunk, just hold him there.
Just put him in the trunk. Just don't let him leave. Oh my god, like what? And then he like tries to kind of spit some game at Van, and she gives him the fake name, Denise or something.
I was getting offended by his use of the N-word.
Right.
It was very loud at me.
right when she gives him the fake name, that's when they pop him like, hey, Vanessa,
oh, so
we're ready for you. We're ready for you.
He's like, Denise, I think they're ready.
He also played it off really well.
Right. Yeah. I think they're ready for you, Denise.
Yeah.
To a point where I thought like he was going to like, maybe appear somewhere else in the episode, or I don't know. But they kind of just left that as it is. And she goes in to the hairdresser and for, costume, makeup, hair and makeup. And that's when the old light skin Shamik rolls in, and she's, gets pretty cozy with him. And thus setting up like kind of that Tyler Perry. She is the quintessential Tyler Perry
black woman needs to be saved type thing.
Like going through those types of emotions that are like in every one of his movies.
Great. So great. So she's on set acting. She's got a wig. She's in it, and Lottie just like blurts out like, she says, "Shut up."
And I love that too, because like you said, like that relationship that Lottie and she has with her mom. It's like she heard that dude say something mean to her mom, and was just like, "Shut up," right there on set. So yeah.
It was interesting. And then we get
damn it, I was
gonna say we get the Blowfield. Then we get the
thus introducing that Mr. Chocolate is watching the whole thing, and like he's orchestrating all of the movements. Oh, he's always watching.
He's always watching. I hope Mr. Chocolate's watching this and he enjoys this. Like so,
Mr. Chocolate, if you're watching,
he's also
on.
so involved in every single shoot that at a certain point I was like, are they maybe not even filming and this is just like his weird rich guy fetish?
Right. I mean, at one point, the production assistant was like, Mr. Chocolate, this was just for blocking. We weren't filming. We'll fix it in post. You didn't film anything. How are you going to fix it in post?
Areas for and why people hate working with him and stuff because he always just we'll fix it in post.
Like, so
like
what do you mean by that? Like,
thing.
are his movies just like really they just edit a bunch of different scenes together, or like they kind of?
Well, I said this earlier when we were watching. I haven't watched any of the Tyler Perry Medea movies, but I will notice that in this, every single time we had, with the exception of one time, every single time they did shot a scene, first take that we see, Mr. Chocolate's like, perfect, cut, moving on.
Yeah,
exactly. He's a one and done.
Always first take Drake over here.
Like reshooting, and he'll fix it in fucking post.
Fix it in post. We'll fix it in post.
Mr. Chocolate, the people in post are asking that we fix it in pre.
I thought he was making Bill O'Reilly for a second, like fuck it, we'll go live. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to point out, like, as we're going through all these like bits and scenes with Lottie, right? Read the thing from. You saw the IMDb pulled up. Then they make it to Taraji P Henson reference in the thing.
Literally, the last sentence is, "I know y'all ain't doing that with Taraji."
Taraji. So Taraji P Henson. So the character that we see when Lottie is on the set when the woman is eating a crack sandwich, which I think wait a minute. I think it's a reference to, if you've ever seen the movie CB4, which is if you've never seen it, Chris Rock, utterly hilarious. He plays like a personified, like comedic version. It's a parody movie of NWA. And he plays like a parody version of like Eazy-E sort of in the movie. Okay, he's got the Jerry curls with the the
MC Gusto in the house.
We got some CB4 fans. Yeah, we got some CB4. And if anybody's like, why does this white boy know CB4? Again, I'm Mexican, and somebody's gonna shout out.
I'm the white boy.
But the white yesterday. You just insert that right now.
I have not seen this.
CB4 is a great movie. But if I remember it correctly, I feel like there was a scene where he's addicted to crack, and he's like, he eats a peanut butter crack sandwich, if I remember this correctly in the parody movie. I could be mistaken, but I feel like I've seen this before. But the fact that it happened, and I want to come back to the scene, pull back the drawstring. But this actress had some very reminiscent Taraji P Henson vibes from Hustle and Flow. Like she just it looked like it, and I was like, oh, this has to be an homage to it. And the fact that it's in the synopsis of like what the episode is, just sort of speaks to like, oh, it makes me feel validated. Like I'm kind of right.
Yeah, I think you're definitely on to something there. But this crack sandwich is delicious. Is one of my favorites. This crack sandwich is good as
like they have her. They say, I can't believe they had her eating a crack sandwich.
Yeah.
He's wild. And then
it's just
see the crack sandwich.
When I heard that crunch, I was like, "Oh, she's eating like stale bread or something."
No, she's eating
I was thinking those
sandwich. Biting.
I was thinking those like rice patties, you know?
Oh
yeah, fucking dry. Yeah. God. No, just crack and 2 slices of Wonder Bread. That's it.
Ooh, that's a peanut butter too, man. Right?
We don't. No.
That was wild.
We don't know that there was even peanut butter in hers because
you're right.
We just saw white, like the white pieces of bread. I think it was literally just Wonder Bread, crack, Wonder Bread
sandwich. All right, shout out to anybody that's tried this. Let me know how that goes.
We need to see. We gotta have a chicken and peanut butter sandwich.
Skin and peanut butter sandwich.
I need someone. I volunteer for the chicken skin sandwich, and then one of you guys can have the crack sandwich.
The crack sandwich. I'll find some crack
And
somewhere.
let me
Don't worry.
know.
I know some people. Yeah.
I'll trip on that grenade. I'm excited to try some crack cocaine.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You don't want none of this, Jeffy. You don't want none of this, Dewey. I'll say this. I think for the last episode, we all do a chicken skin and peanut butter sandwich.
Down
I think this would sound amazing. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Anyways, we'll come back to that. So, Lottie's a superstar. Van's a little meh.
She's being watched by Mr. Chocolate. Now they said
yeah,
that they were
jelly.
going to just have her in one scene, and then they're
You'll be done by lunch.
Done by lunch, and then she is off to the next stage,
bro.
And that's when things started again. I was like, okay, Atlanta's just really good at setting a tone of just like a franticness of like what is going to happen, and like kind of just getting your worries up while still being funny. And just Van like just getting more and more distressed about where her daughter is and like just going off into the next stage. I feel like there is a lot more, parallels there to like, having a daughter, having a child actor, if you're a mom. But you notice that like every other mom there was actually was very envious of Van, and didn't really see any problem that like the other mom there was like, oh, we need to stick together because she wanted her daughter to be chosen.
She wasn't the it girl, but she knew who was the it girl, and she figured, well, the it girl always needs that nerdy friend, just like she had, and she's
good at computers.
And her daughter to her was like, come on, pick me as a sidekick.
Right.
Disney channeling that shit up, huh?
Factuals. Exactly. I was gonna say you always have the nerdy friend on the Disney Channel. It's always a factoid. And then I really enjoy so as we go through this, right? We've got Lottie sort of embracing the more mommy, can I wear this? Mommy, look at me, check me. I look like Doja Cat, mommy. Look, check me out.
Yeah, that was interesting.
But I think it's fast. I think if I just break that down real quick, I think it's fascinating that even as the culture is right, like this is very much highlighting that like, dude, you can have young kids and they're embracing this sort of like this nature of like people that they think are famous, like that are famous and that are in front of them, but are a little more like. The word sexualized comes to mind, but that's not what I mean. But it's more of like you're more grown up, and like that's what you aspire to be, even from a young age like that. She's like, "Mommy, I look like Doja Cat," and like, bro, if you're a fan of Dave, you've seen Doja Cat. You're like, "Hey, man, like
Dave's dad definitely saw her."
Yeah, right. So I mean, it is. I feel like it's just more. I think sexualized comes to mind, but that's y'all know what I mean. But it's just a bit more adult.
I gotta say, I think you're trying to avoid the term sexualized while you're describing this, but actually, I don't think to avoid it because I don't know about you guys, but when like Mr. Chocolate, like when she's like in 14 scenes, it's like, oh, Mr. Chocolate's gonna take care of it. I was like, oh no, is this the start of like a real,
like almost like there is like a little bit of a Harvey Weinstein aspect to
sort of aspect.
I will have your daughter and all this.
That was the feeling I got even before we got introduced to Mr. Chocolate.
You're not wrong, man. That's sort of like a grooming aspect of it, and I think it highlights it even at this age. Like you see, like there's a reason why they include all these lines, and there's a deeper meaning to it. And for them to choose out of all. Mommy, I look like Mary J. Blige. Mommy, I look like, name somebody, anybody else. Mommy, I look like Michelle Obama. No, Mommy, I look like Doja Cat. Like, it's like, well.
Yeah, there was a Doja Cat reference in season 3, when he was at Fernando's.
I need to check with Doja Cat's people to make sure they're not.
Oh, right. Yeah. The Fernando's one, yeah.
The old man in the tree.
The old man in the tree. How's that?
Now,
what? Go ahead.
So from there, they, but yeah, also that grandma or someone in there was like
Motherly
actually
figure.
kind of like it felt like they were
Varsity.
talking some sense to her, like kind of like
Ah.
instilling some wisdom of like, if you know, if your child is like happy doing this, and if you can't, you know, embrace your child's happiness, or you may not be, you know, happy yourself or whatever. And I was like, okay, maybe Van should chill out a little bit, but as soon as they start flipping the stages and like, you know, she can't find it, I
When
was
they
like, oh
basically
no,
kidnapped
that's
her.
the
and-
industry. Yeah, it's the industry, really. Like
When
kind of
it
like
goes
how
from
quickly.
yeah,
how
I was
quickly
gonna say
these
when it
people
goes from
can
one
be.
extra scene to they're like, oh yeah, she's in 14 today. It's like,
Yeah, it's like
And
what?
the part where, you know, finally Mr. Chocolate acknowledges Van, and you know, he asks her, you know, she kind of whispers, "Give me back my daughter," and then you just hear, "No."
Yeah.
I'm like,
No.
okay, this is the problem now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That's so messed up. But what's the other movie scene that was hilarious that they were filming was Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, the Abraham Lincoln? I hope you get shot in the theater.
Like, come on. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Fun
it
random
can
fact.
be that bad. And now
Tell
I
us,
see
what
this,
was it, Denise?
new
What happened?
this new movie. With
Denise,
Will
what
Smith.
happened? What do you mean, fun random fact?
I am like very distantly related to Mary Todd Lincoln.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I'm related
So-
to Lincoln through marriage, guys. What's up?
Also,
Oh.
do we think that Lincoln got shot in a theater? I don't know.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
If you haven't seen
My-
the movie with Daniel Day-Lewis, I think he gets
Mhm.
shot in the theater. That's all
My
I'm saying.
brain tripped over that sentence so
I
hard.
was like, hold on.
I was just like, where is he going with this?
I was
That's
mostly
why
just like,
I'm so
oh god, Blake, I got some bad news, buddy.
That's why I let the YWA do YWA things. I can't
But
intercept. Come on,
It's just
man.
Thanks,
those,
buddy.
you know, period race movies that are just kind of like, ugh. And now I'm seeing Will Smith
Right.
in this new movie, like
Yeah.
Emancipation, and it's like, so
Why?
it's like apparently
I
he's
thought
like
we
straight up just
canceled
being
him.
a slave or
I
some
thought we
shit. And I'm like, ouch, ouch, Will. I don't
Oh
think
my
I
God.
want to see this one, bro.
I don't want to watch I Am Legend pre-Civil War. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't want to watch I Am Legend. End of sentence.
Sick, though.
But anyways,
Slap them rocks.
yeah. Before we
So-
all get slapped by Will Smith,
Right.
go ahead, Jeff.
Keep his name out your motherfucking mouth. Anyway, I don't know about you guys, but at one point, I was starting to get the feeling that like, is Mr. Chocolate gonna be white?
Oh yeah,
That would have
funny
been
as hell.
a good one because no one's
That would've
ever
been
seen
pretty-
him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like they're like, oh, he's playing on
funny.
every fucking just tired
Mhm.
ass trope. I was like, oh god, what if he's a white guy doing that? And that's the entire reason you never fucking see him. I'm glad I was wrong. The way they went was better, but still, I was like, is this
Even Van's outfit was like such a trope. Like, I don't know.
Yes.
It just looked
I don't
so
know. I
like,
thought it was kind of banging. I was like,
I mean,
damn,
she looked
fine
banging,
now.
but like this looks literally like what you would see on, you know, like the House of Pain or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
like,
yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
just all Meet the
Just that
Browns,
outfit.
House of Pain,
Right.
Yeah. It
Diary of a
was-
Mad Black. I mean, let's think about it. Van, that episode was our
Was
Mad Black
Black
woman.
woman.
Uh-huh.
right.
Factuals.
Mhm.
And I mean,
Of course.
even you know, Mr. Chocolate at the end, like just like breaks down. He's like, you met this person, you met that person, you did this thing, you did that thing, you were, you know, single struggling mother, yada yada, like all these tropes that are in
That is-
all the
and-
Tyler Perry movies. Like
Exactly. You just can't stop. You just cannot
Yeah.
stop doing that.
Like, you're
same-
so unrelatable, and this shit is just hodgepodge together. I'm like,
Yeah. And he's like,
It's
but
like, it's just a
listen,
big stereotype, and guess what? Sometimes stereotypes happen to a lot of people.
well, let's so she's on the quest. I think we talked through most of the scenes at the movie scenes. I can't remember
Yeah.
another one other than the crack sandwich and the Lincoln one.
The
But,
only other one I remember, and it was earlier than the Lincoln one, is when there's Lottie and the other little girl talking on the set. And it's kind of a throwaway one, but
no, there was a second one where Lottie and the little girl are on the set together and they're doing like the kids show. It's like all of a sudden she's now in her own kids show with that little girl.
Right?
And you hear him say, have her say that she's pregnant.
Oh yeah. This is a kid show.
But it's a kid show, yeah.
It's a kid show. And you know what he says? Thank you. Just thank you. Like, okay, god damn it, Mr. Chocolate. But okay, so before we get to so what happens? She's on that quest to find her daughter, and then she's like just gives up and is like, I'm just going to go straight to Mr. Chocolate's private residence. She's entering the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and there's armed guards. Well, armed, and that's when the Medea character,
the Medea character,
shows up, and I'm pretty sure that actually happens in like not that exact setup, but that kind of like
Medea shoots somebody.
Medea kind of does the enforcer. She has the gun or whatever, and I think she actually does.
Is that when
it's
Medea
been a while.
goes to jail?
You guys are going to have to
people right in the foot because it's not attempted murder if you shoot them in the foot, if you shoot them below the knee.
Right.
I actually met a guy who he went to jail and prison, and that I was like, dude, so what happened? He's like, oh, I shot a guy. I was like, oh, damn. He's like, yeah, you got to shoot him below the knees, otherwise it's attempted murder. I was like,
yeah.
What? He's like,
Okay.
yeah, I was hoping he was going to die, but I was smart about it. I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, I need to leave.
He was my trainer at my fucking first college job too. We're flipping burgers, and he's telling me this damn story.
You're like, okay, cool, man.
Sup,
We got some orders up. But...
Shout out Toby.
But yeah, she opens up. She gets her an opportunity because she got through that airtight security and has a gun, an actual working gun, while the security guards actually have like fake prop guns. I can't remember from what movie they said or what that was referencing, but
Gods of War they said or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But that I don't know, something doesn't sound familiar about that.
It sounded more sci-fi to me, but I might be misremembering.
But they look like, kind of like African military guys.
They were M16s. They were M16s.
I almost want to say they hotel
because they had the, like the like berets.
Beret.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And so I think those were like prop outfits, whatever.
Was it
like
trippy when she walked through that hall of mirrors to go find?
Yeah, it was
Mr.
really
Chocolate?
strange why she just has to again continuing the trope of like all of these characters have to like enter or pass through these weird gateways to get to what they want. And
I got Hellraiser vibes at that point. I think it was Hellraiser 2 when she's walking down those real narrow halls in like the Cenobite land.
You get a lot.
I got real like Enter the Dragon vibes where he's walking through that hall of mirrors,
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
So basically, we all got horror movie vibes.
Fact, suspense, suspense, like well, this is kind of weird.
Yeah. But yeah, Mr. Chocolate, and how they open like his room, the scribble of a typewriter's pages, just pages upon pages upon pages, and then just these off-key piano notes. I was just like, okay, what are we going
And then
to
this
be?
like 1960s refrigerator behind him, like what?
It reminded me of The Office as an Archer when it's like, isn't this modern day? Why does everything look like it's from the 50s or 60s, man?
Right.
Yeah,
similar to what D'Angelo was in too, just kind of like this weird off-color brown panel.
Yeah, at that point, his Office gave me the old school Disney vibes.
Right. Yeah, and then you see, and then he's got a wall of like cameras just like everywhere.
Yeah, surveilling everything.
And also, he has literal piles of paper going higher than the piano he's typing it out on. He's just got so much random. It's like he's just ADHD in it and like literally just recording every fucking thought and just throwing it out of his head. You know?
Have you seen Tyler Perry's credits? I don't know how this motherfucker produces so much shit. Like, I gotta even just respect that because he's on like his 15th Medea movie. Like it's and then also writing TV shows or like producing them. I don't know, it's ridiculous. But but yeah, like, do you guys want to take over from here about who when you guys were, what you guys were feeling, who it was? Mm-hmm. They keep
like, is he typing the letters and it's making notes, or is he playing the notes and it types the letters?
I got notes, and notes make letters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was the feeling I got.
Like, yeah. I was thinking maybe like each key on some point is like a letter, but I feel like he was actually doing like crazy chords and notes to, I don't know, to make
these just like abstract ideas of like things that just sort of like formulate to like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Which would also explain why the scripts all suck.
Right. Just depends on how good he's playing. Get fire ass.
You keep talking like that, Denise, I'm gonna write you out of the next scene. That's all I'm saying.
But just the look of Mr. Chocolate too was so fucking.
Yeah, what were you guys expecting? Like, what? I want to know what you guys were expecting.
Idris Elba, something like that.
Yeah,
I was still thinking it was gonna be a white guy.
Yeah,
just culture vulturing the shit out of it,
Yeah,
it wouldn't be the worst thing ever, but like I did not expect that. But then, as soon as I heard the voice and you see the back, I was just like, bro, it's Glover.
Yeah,
that's Donald Glover, bro.
Yeah,
and like,
you what
a shot of like just sort of like when you see them all together, you're like, bro, yeah, man.
Because they did that, same thing in the Teddy Perkins episode where it was like he's just obscured by the shadows for a little bit and just kind of like get a good look at him, and then and I'm like, okay, this is.
And then they put the grits on him, and then you're like, yep, that's Glover.
Yeah, there was moments where like his voice, I just could, he was just kind of breaking. Or I don't know about breaking, but it was just like, oh, I can definitely hear Donald.
I can hear it. I can hear it out of there. Yeah,
normal voice.
Mm-hmm. Love it. And then we have the end scene where they're finally home. They're in a house. So
real quick before that, Blake, is the part where he describes like Van. Oh, this is you. This is all the tropes that you're a part of. But then screaming, you're not gonna take my daughter from me. And like just getting that fucking deep into it that he's now thinking of Lottie as his daughter, but not even Lottie necessarily. He's thinking of that character as his daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
That was just fucking trippy.
And I think I said this too, like right when the episode ended, it was almost, if we look at all these episodes as like a sort of symbolism, this is almost like unadulterated earn thoughts of like saying like, well, you're doing this, this is how you're living, this is this, here's this trope you fall into, here's this sort of cliche, but it's these unadulterated thoughts coming from an objective figure. Whereas if Ern were to say it, it would sound subjective and it would sound sort of tainted because he's not with Van. But when you hear it from a third party character, like as if somebody were to tell you, right, it's the same difference of when like your friend's like, hey bro, like you should probably get that checked out. It's probably this. And you're like, no, bro, shut up. And then you go to the doctor and they don't know you. And they're like, hey, bro, it's this. And you're like, oh, shit. All right. Or, same difference, right? Name an example, but like that's just a very good primal example of like something like that where it's just you don't believe somebody until a third party objectively says something. And it's almost like the same thing with here.
I do want to bring to the point what he says. He's like, I don't actually run this place. Like this place, I'm kind of just like the keeper of it, but I don't own this place. It runs itself, And I think that is some like type of commentary about like
he called that his child.
His child, but in a way, like he put an aspect like he really is almost still just a cog in the functioning of it, rather than like the operator of it.
More like it controls him than he controls it. Yeah.
Facts.
Exactly.
He just puts inputs.
that's also just like a very, because like Tyler Perry's stuff is still successful because I mean, obviously people have been watching his shit. He wouldn't be making
can we
another
talk about
Medea
it, though?
movie if it wasn't,
Can we really talk about Tyler Perry?
huh?
Because I don't like his stuff. And there's a part where we were talking with each other in the comments, and we haven't brought this up, and it's when Van is in the golf cart with, I guess, like the AD and somebody else.
Yes.
And they're talking about, support everybody black. And even OJ and me and Nine, they're in the
even
chat
OJ.
going,
especially OJ.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, we do
like,
support
come
everybody
on now.
black, but sometimes when does that come back to bite us? Because I'm glad this episode came out. Like this past week and a half, I was with my cousin and we were like kind of watching different like shows that had more main black casts. And there weren't that many, and we're kind of like, why aren't there that many black shows and black movies coming out that are good? Because we have Tyler Perry, but his stuff just isn't good. It was like the first thing that he did.
Putting that shit out.
It's volumatic, right? Like there's a lot of it, but is it all like great content?
Right, so, like they're just throwing him. And like another thing Van said, they pointed out, like he's like, oh, he's won all these NAACP awards. He's definitely won BET awards, but he hasn't won any white awards. And they try to like frame it.
So only those awards matter.
The ones that matter, and it's kind of like. Yeah, and that fucking industry, sorry.
That's really all of it that people care about.
We ain't out there like that. And he's not really helping us get out there like that.
Yeah, I've never seen them frame Terrence Howard being like, oh, he won 10 BET awards. I've always seen them Oscar award winning or, Golden Globe nominee.
Exactly.
Like, these are the things that matter. Like when you're marketing somebody, like it's not up to me, it's not up to you, Nine, it's not up to Terry, it's not up to Jeff. This is just what they do, and like to be caught up in that is like what?
But it's like you got to congratulate him. Tyler Perry is a billionaire. He did make his billion off of this, but it's like, what else are you gonna make? Who else are you helping, man? I haven't been hearing about you too much. He made that studio, and then nothing's really
he's making a lot of.
Why isn't it like Atlanta being produced out of that studio?
Right. Why isn't he?
What's going on there? Do they not like each other?
The bar should be higher for Atlanta the stuff that's rolling out of the show.
Compare it to something like fucking Meet the Browns and what's his other group, Meet the Pains, like. So, Atlanta, they're trash compared to Atlanta. So why isn't he trying to reach out to like way better writers than himself?
Well, my guess
he has the money. He can team up with Oprah, another billionaire, and they're not really doing a good job at helping the black entertainment community, in my opinion. And I'm glad this episode came out to call him out.
Yeah, let's wrap this up. We got seven more minutes for the hour.
So I'm not going to comment on that part, but I will say that one, while I haven't seen any of the Medea movies or anything, like it doesn't seem like they're it seems like Atlanta is considered highbrow comparatively. And if you don't got that control, you can't just dumb Atlanta down, But then another thing that I was just remembering while we were talking about all this stuff was, when Van's in hair and makeup, and she's like, oh, what was the last one you saw? And Van was like, I don't even know. And she's like trying to, you can tell she's trying to play it cool, like, oh yeah, that one. And the hairdresser's just like, yeah, I fucking hate all of them.
Right. Yeah, like they all suck. Like, that's exactly the frame of mind that I'm in. I was like trying to remember the details of Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and like I know I like that one, but I remember just watching a couple of other ones after that and being like, what the hell is any of this nonsense going on?
Yeah.
Now? But it gets tough. But yeah, it's really funny that Tyler Perry plays Medea. He puts on a bat suit or whatever, and now we got Donald Glover putting on a fat suit to play like a Tyler Perry character and like getting.
The parallels are too much.
This was like a really dense episode. I'm gonna have a lot of fun writing.
A lot of fun.
I think also go back and watch that Boondocks episode that totally mocks Tyler Perry because it's on par.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to find out what season that's in.
I I want to say
I remember
season-
that episode. It's been a while.
A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff in it. Last 5 minutes, guys. Let's put this to peace. Let's wrap up any final things that we got, because people are going to watch this, but you know what they really want to watch, Nine, is those breakdowns, those analytical videos.
Yeah.
So good.
And I know you're going to go through this and probably find some things and then find some things on your own. So let's sort of put our 2 cents in this. Jeff, any final 2 cents on this? Anything that we didn't touch that you're like, hey man, I just thought about this?
So not the correct takeaway from this episode, but man, Zazie looks good with some red hair, huh?
And, was there puka shells in there too? Like, what was?
I think there might have been. I just like getting that dyed hair, and it's just like, yeah, I'm digging.
I was all about it. I was all about it.
I mean, yeah, when she was going through those mirrors or whatever through that hall, and I was just like, oh, look at her. She's just as killing the game. Yeah.
Oh.
Man, put Zazie in a wig and she'll kill it. Doesn't matter what kind of wig it is.
You put Zazie in a fucking burlap sack, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm killing that.
Moving on. Terry, final takeaways.
I guess I'm gonna just hook my train up to the Zazie is awesome and just say that Van finally got the episode she deserved, and she'll probably finally get on one of the higher rated episodes, because we look back at all the Van episodes throughout the seasons. They get a little low. Kind of been the lowest rated ones, but she got her episode. We need to look up who wrote this one and who directed this one.
Have it in a second.
Because this one was real good.
We'll get our YWA was currently all over it.
No rating yet. Director, Donald Glover. Writers, Janine Neighbors and Donald Glover.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
The rating is coming soon.
Okay.
I think Janine wrote a few episodes this season, or has the credits on those.
Not mad at it. 9 final takeaways, man.
Gosh, I don't know, those hot grits to the face. And the way that he played that off was just hilarious to me. And I guess it is like the old Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, when how he trips and everyone's just kind of like, oh, and then he's like, oh, I'm fine. And then how he kind of gets hit with the grits and he's like, oh, I'm fine. I don't know. I just
funny story to segue over here. Gene Wilder said he wouldn't do the movie if he couldn't do a somersault. So he did that. He did that on the fly. Actually, they didn't know when he was going to do it, but he did it. So that's actually my favorite, Willy Wonka interpretation. One of my final takeaways is this: if you look at this episode as a much grander scale of things and not so much the integral details that make up this episode, you see a mother-daughter relationship. Mm-hmm. And you see something where they start off together, mom loses daughter. Where's my daughter? I'm going to fight for my daughter. I'm going to do whatever I need to for my daughter. And she's not always going to have her way. She doesn't know what's best for her. I know what's best for her. And when we come back home, we come back to a house, regardless of how it came to me, which we are going to assume that perhaps Ern has set up Lottie and Van in such a way that looks financially stable. They seem to have a good, just sort of balance with each other, a great relationship with each other. Hey, I'm going to make mac and cheese. Okay. Great. Sounds fantastic, right? This is a mother-daughter story at the end of the day, and it's done so magically in the surrealism that is Atlanta. And as you go back and you break down a lot of little bits, you'll just see a lot of things that are just mother-daughter oriented and family oriented. And this really, at the end of the day, even though Van didn't get her comeuppance, so to speak, as an actress, the shine through is her as a mother, which we questioned in the last season. I think that's what makes this episode really beautiful. I love this episode, perhaps my favorite episode of the season so far, and I love that it's the middle. We're only at the middle, and we've gotten. This is literally my favorite. I think Terry probably said it, but my favorite Van episode. This is the best Van episode that we've gotten, and this is the most embracive of herself as a mother, as a character, where she's not having to like be something else other than a mother. It's fantastic. Those are my final thoughts on this. Jeff, where can people find you if they want to talk about all things Atlanta?
You can try and Skype me at Don Cheadle's driveway at littledickie2.com. It's because of the hackers. You can try and find me out in the real world. Hey, if you're in Austin this weekend, ACL. I'm working a booth over there, so I come try and buy some celebrity prayer candles. We got Childish Gambino one up there right now.
Love it. ACL, and we ain't talking about your knees, baby. Terry, where can people find you?
Let's try with Instagram and support the pins that are going to be coming out, especially the ones for 9NerdYards soon. So that's at Pendependence CO for Colorado. And we should be having some pins for y'all pretty soon.
That's fantastic, man. Everybody go follow Jeff and Terry. 9, where can people follow you for all things Atlanta and everything else coming out?
So yeah, you can follow me right here on YouTube and also on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. If you want to just send me bullshit on there, that would be great. But also join the Discord where over 200 people are sitting and vibing and talking about Atlanta, theorizing. And it's definitely heating up now that we're in this 5th episode. We are at the halfway mark. Just come and join. We're having a lot of fun there. And also I have a Patreon, and I'm going to be dropping a season 1 episode 2 video there this week. Been kind of lacking on the other breakdowns, but I think episode 4 and 5 will come out before episode 6 drops by next week, Thursday. So so look out for some 2 fire videos back to back, and a 3rd one if you're part of my Patreon.
Love it. Go follow him on Patreon. Go follow everything 9NerdYards does. And if you want to follow me, Money Blakeweather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Money Blakeweather is the name. Thank y'all for watching 9NerdYards. Follow it on every single platform that you're listening to, watching at, Patreon. And it costs $1. It costs $1, Chuck. So let's keep it real.
It's $1. That's $1.
I love it. Everybody, we thank y'all for tuning in. Look out for Nine's breakdown videos. This is not a replacement for it, but more of a supplementation until the next time that you see one of those things. So we thank y'all for tuning in. We hope that y'all loved it. And until the next time, we will see you. Peace.